Eagles fan, there is an old saying in football that says, "You are what your numbers say you are." And the numbers for the 2025 season are screaming an uncomfortable truth that Nick Sirianni and Kevin Patullo seem to deliberately ignore. We are in the middle of a 3-game losing streak. The offense looks broken, predictable, and soulless. And the answer to this collapse is not in big signings or crazy trades. The answer lies in a philosophical shift that happened right under our noses and is killing this team's identity. The Athletic released a brutal analysis this week that sums it all up in one simple and painful sentence. Simply put, the Eagles win more when Jalen Hurts runs. It seems obvious, doesn't it? But for some reason, the coaching staff decided to abandon the winning formula. Let's go to the cold, hard facts brought by the report. In 2025, Jalen Hurts has only 88 rushes so far. He is on pace to have the lowest mark of his career as a full-time starter in a full season. This is not a fluke, it is a trend. Our quarterback, who was built as a lethal dual threat, has been transformed into a static pocket passer. And guess when he ran the least? Exactly in the games we lost. In recent losses to the Los Angeles Chargers and Chicago Bears, Hurts ran only 4 times in each game, tying his season low. Even worse, in the shameful loss to the Broncos, in Week 5 he ran only 2 times, tying the lowest mark of his entire professional career. There is a direct, almost scientific correlation. When Jalen Hurts turns into a ball-passing robot, the Philadelphia Eagles lose. And what is the side effect of taking the ball out of Jalen's leg? You force him to throw more. And when I say more, I mean in excess. The article highlights that during this 3-game losing streak, Jalen Hurts attempted 106 passes. In regulation, that is the highest number of attempts in any 3-game stretch this season. Fan, this is a recipe for disaster. Jalen Hurts is a fantastic quarterback, but he is not Peyton Manning. He is not Tom Brady. He needs the run game to open up the passing game. When you ask him to drop back and throw 40 times a game, you are exposing him to sacks, to forced reads, and inevitably to the interceptions we saw against the Chargers. We took away our QB's superpower and expect him to win playing with one hand tied behind his back. We need to talk specifically about how this hurts Saquon Barkley. When Jalen Hurts refuses to keep the ball on the zone read, the math of the game changes against us. The beauty of the zone read system is that it forces the defensive end to freeze. He has to hesitate for a second to see if Jalen is keeping the ball or handing it off. That hesitation is what creates the lane for Saquon. But look at the tapes from the last 3 weeks. The defenses are not respecting Jalen's legs anymore. The defensive ends are crashing down immediately on Saquon Barkley, completely ignoring Jalen. Why? Because they know based on film study that he is not going to run. We are playing 11 versus 11 football instead of 11 versus 10. By turning Jalen into a statue, we are effectively neutralizing Saquon Barkley's explosiveness because he is getting hit in the backfield before the play even develops. The most frustrating part is hearing the explanation. When asked about this, Nick Sirianni insists that the QB run concepts remain integral to the team's philosophy. He said that against the Chargers, they called some runs early, but the defense did a good job stopping it. With all due respect, Coach, that is nonsense. If the defense stops the run in the first quarter, you don't abandon your identity, you adjust. Kevin Patullo, our offensive coordinator, gave an even vaguer answer. He said that many plays are RPOs, run-pass options, where Jalen pulls the ball and throws. He said, "I don't think there is a set number of runs we are trying to hit. It is about what the opponent gives us." The problem with this passive mindset is that if you wait for the defense to give you the run, Jalen will never run. NFL defenses are afraid of his leg. They will always try to force him to pass. It is up to the offensive coordinator to design plays, design runs that force the defense to respect that threat. There is also a huge misconception about protecting the quarterback. The coaching staff might think that by limiting Jalen's runs, they are saving him from hits and keeping him healthy for the playoff. But this logic is flawed and dangerous. What is more dangerous for a quarterback taking a tackle while running forward where he can slide or get out of bounds, or standing like a sitting duck in the pocket while 300-pound linemen crash into his blindside? When Jalen holds the ball, waiting for deep routes to develop because we are throwing 40 times a game, He is taking violent hits inside the pocket. The turnovers against the Chargers happened because he was under pressure in the pocket, not because he was running. Trying to protect him by eliminating his run game is actually exposing him to more dangerous types of contact and turnover. The analysis mentions that Hurts' involvement in zone read concepts elevated the system in 2024, but those concepts have become less frequent in 2025. Why did we abandon what worked? Is it fear of injury? Does Jalen Hurts want to prove to the league that he is a pure pocket passer to guarantee longevity? Whatever the reason, the result is a one-dimensional offense. Without the threat of the QB run, the opposing linebackers don't need to freeze. They can drop straight into pass coverage or blitz. This suffocates Saquon Barkley, who sees fewer holes and suffocates the passing game with tighter windows. Jalen's dual threat was what made our offense unfair to defend. Today, we are a common offense, and common offenses lose to the Chargers, Bears, and Broncos. And let's look at the calendar. It is December. We are heading into January football. The weather gets colder, the wind gets stronger, and the ball gets harder to throw. This is the time of year when physical running teams dominate. This is when the Philadelphia Eagles usually bully opponents. But instead, we are trying to become an air raid offense in the middle of winter. It makes no sense strategically. Playoff football is about controlling the clock, converting third and shorts, and demoralizing the opponent physically. You cannot do that when your quarterback drops back to pass on almost every down. We are building a finesse identity for a team that was built to be a sledgehammer. And that identity crisis is why we are watching the season slip away. We also need to hold Jalen Hurts himself accountable. Patullo mentioned that on RPOs, the decision is on the quarterback. Is Jalen pulling the ball to throw when he should hand it to Saquon or run it himself? In moments of pressure, it seems Jalen is trying to force the ball into double coverage, like we saw in recent interceptions, instead of using his legs to gain 5 or 6 yards and keep the drive alive. His legs are the escape valve. If he refuses to use them, or if the scheme forbids him from using them, the offense stalls. We are on a losing streak. Confidence is shaken. The solution is not to reinvent the wheel. The solution is to look at the tape from 2022, from 2024. The Eagles win when Jalen Hurts bothers defenses on the ground and through the air. 106 passes in 3 games is unacceptable. We need to see Jalen with 10 or 12 carries per game. We need to see the zone read. We need to see the fear in the defender's eyes when he breaks the pocket. If Sirianni and Patullo keep treating Jalen like a statue QB, we will keep losing. This team's identity was forged in physical aggression. Simply put, as the article says, we win more when he runs. It is simple math. Ignoring this is negligent. Fan, the question for today is about the identity of our offense. Do you think the blame for the drop in Jalen Hurts' runs lies with Nick Sirianni and Kevin Patullo, who are calling the wrong play and protecting the QB too much? Or is it on Jalen Hurts himself, who is refusing the runs on RPOs to try to be a better passer? Or is it simply that the defenses have learned how to mark our scheme? Leave your opinion in the comments. If we want to save this season and enter the playoffs strong, Jalen needs to get his uniform dirty. Enough of 40 passes per game. Leave a like if you agree that we need the dual threat back and subscribe to the channel. The accountability here is daily. Fly Eagles, fly.